Happiness is like a butterfly which, when pursued, is always beyond our grasp, but which, if you will sit down quietly, may alight upon you. No man, for any considerable period, can wear one face to himself and another to the multitude, without finally getting bewildered as to which may be true. Words so innocent and powerless as they are, as standing in a dictionary, how potent for good and evil they become in the hands of one who knows how to combine them. A hero cannot be a hero unless in a heroic world. What other dungeon is so dark as one's own heart? What jailer so inexorable as one's self? Families, when a child is born, want it to be intelligent. I, through intelligence, having wrecked my whole life, only hope my children turn out fools. Every individual has a place to fill in the world, and is important in some respect, whether he chooses to be so or not. A pure hand needs no glove to cover it. We dream in our waking moments and walk in our sleep. There is no better measure of a person than what they do, when they are absolutely free to choose. Time flies over us, but leaves its shadow behind. The greatest obstacle to being heroic is the doubt. Whether one may not be going to prove one's self a fool, the truest heroism is to resist the doubt. A woman's strength can be silent, her influence unseen, but her power undeniable. A bodily disease, which we look upon as whole and entire within itself, may, after all, be but a symptom of some ailment in the spiritual part. We sometimes congratulate ourselves at the moment of waking from a troubled dream. It may be so the moment after death. The only sensible ends of literature are, first, the pleasurable toil of writing, second, the gratification of one's family and friends, and, lastly, the solid cash. Nobody, I think, ought to read poetry, or look at pictures or statues, who cannot find a great deal more in them than the poet or artist has actually expressed. There is something truer and more real than what we can see with the eyes and touch with the finger. The world owes all its onward impulses to men ill at ease, the happy man inevitably. The world owes all its onward impulses to men ill at ease. The happy man inevitably confines himself within ancient limits. It is to the credit of human nature that, except where its selfishness is brought into play, it loves more readily than it hates. Life is made up of marble and mud. We dream in our waking moments and walk in our sleep. The worst enemy of truth and freedom in our society is the compact majority. We men of study, whose heads are in our books, have need to be straightly looked after. We dream in our waking moments and walk in our sleep. A grave, wherever found, preaches a short and pithy sermon to the soul. What is character but the determination of incident? What is incident but the illustration of character? To do nothing is the way to be nothing. It is a curious subject of observation and inquiry whether hatred and love be not the same thing at bottom. The only sensible ends of literature are, first, the pleasurable toil of writing, second, the gratification of one's family and friends, and, lastly, the solid cash. Accuracy is the twin brother of honesty, inaccuracy, of dishonesty. Time flies over us, but leaves its shadow behind. Moonlight is sculpture. Our most intimate friend is not he to whom we show the worst, but the best of our nature. A woman's chastity consists, like an onion, of a series of coats. Caresses, expressions of one sort or another, are necessary to the life of the affections, as leaves are to the life of a tree. If they are wholly restrained, love will die at the roots. We sometimes congratulate ourselves at the moment of waking from a troubled dream. It may be so the moment after death. Easy reading is damn hard writing. A single dream is more powerful than 1,000 realities. She had not known the weight until she felt the freedom. I cannot endure to waste anything so precious as autumnal sunshine. By staying in the house, death should take me while I am in the mood. It is a curious subject of observation and inquiry, whether hatred and love be not the same thing at bottom. Each, in its utmost development, supposes a high degree of intimacy and heart knowledge. Each renders one individual dependent for the food of his affections and spiritual life upon another. She could no longer borrow from the future to ease her present grief. Oh, for the years I have not lived, but only dreamed of living. I have laughed in bitterness and agony of heart at the contrast between what I seem and what I am. Let men tremble to win the hand of woman, unless they win along with it the utmost passion of her heart. It is to the credit of human nature that, except where its selfishness is brought into play, it loves more readily, and it hates hatred. By a gradual and quiet process, will even be transformed to love, unless the change be impeded by a continually new irritation of the original feeling of hostility. In all her intercourse with society, however, there was nothing that made her feel as if she belonged to it. She stood apart from mortal interests, yet close beside them, like a ghost that revisits the familiar fireside and can no longer make itself seen or felt. Do anything save to lie down and die. Moonlight is sculpture, sunlight is painting.